Most modern workspaces are flooded with fragments. We copy a link here, jot down a thought there, and dump meeting minutes wherever the cursor lands. The result is a landscape cluttered with Untitled Note 1, Untitled Note 2, and quick thoughts. Without structure, these fragmented files inevitably sink into the void, making it impossible to find exactly what you need 3 weeks later. To fix this, we need to stop treating a blank page like a temporary scratch pad and instead establish a rigid, repeatable protocol for every single entry. This method requires no specialized software. The logic applies equally whether your team uses Notion, Apple Notes, Word, or a plain text editor. Hitting the New Note button begins the construction of a reliable architectural system for future memory retrieval. Looking at a new screen, the first action is always the title. Relying on default timestamps or auto-generated headers makes it significantly harder to identify the file later. A strong title combines a broad category with a specific subject. Think Marketing Sync, Q3 Strategy, rather than simply typing Meeting Notes. Never move to the body of the document before securing this heading. Writing raw text first makes it far too easy to close the app and leave the file nameless. Naming the file up front forces you to define its purpose immediately. You are intentionally claiming the space for a specific reason. With the title locked in, it acts as a permanent anchor. Any raw data you paste or type below is now securely bound to a searchable, distinct identity. Step 2 is formatting the interior. Pouring information into one massive, unbroken paragraph destroys your ability to skim and comprehend it later. As this diagram shows, we can avoid the high-density trap by fracturing a solid block of text into distinct zones using standard headers. The top zone is strictly for context. This is a summary of why this document exists. Below that is the details section. This holds the bulk of the raw data, your meeting minutes, research quotes, or brainstormed ideas. Finally, the bottom section is reserved exclusively for action items. If you mix tasks, context, and raw notes together in the same paragraph, you will waste valuable time rereading the entire page just to figure out what you need to do next. Enforcing this visual categorization at the exact moment you take the note minimizes your cognitive load when you review it tomorrow. Step 3 zeroes in on that bottom section. The action items area is the operational engine of your document. Here, standard bullet points are insufficient. You need to use interactive checkboxes paired with clear, verb-driven task descriptions. Clicking those physical UI elements creates a direct feedback loop. It visually confirms progress and clearly separates pending work from completed work. Keep these tasks completely isolated from the main details section. Operational paralysis happens when to-dos are buried inside long explanatory paragraphs. Extracting the actionable steps into their own checklist turns the file from a static record of what happened into an active management tool for what comes next. Now that the file is perfectly formatted, there is one final step. If it stays buried in your default inbox, it remains vulnerable to being lost in the pile. This network diagram illustrates the solution, securing the file's placement by attaching a tag and routing it to a folder. Broad metadata tags let you search across your entire database. They allow you to instantly cluster related ideas. Next, physically move the file out of your temporary inbox and drop it into its specific long-term storage directory. Information is only useful if it can be found later. Proper categorization establishes the necessary pathway for that future retrieval. This split-screen comparison illustrates the exact difference. On the left, chaotic, isolated fragments. On the right, those same fragments are structured into a titled, categorized, and actionable format. Once you practice this standardized sequence, title, structure, extract actions, and file, it becomes an automatic habit that increases your daily speed. The next time you open a blank document, apply this framework. Take your next 3 notes, structure them immediately, and secure your digital output.